is Tactipants. We're going to go over the Ozark Trail outdoor equipment there. Multi-tool that I got at Walmart for $4.90 something cents. Basically $5 multi-tool. We're going to kind of break this down really quick. There's not a whole lot of specs I can give you guys, but we'll go through the kind of the features and the few specs that I do have and shoot this out to you guys real quick. So first and foremost, the sheath. It's fine for storage, but the belt loop sucks. Big thumbs down there. You cannot carry this for more than about a day with it breaking off. I did carry it for a couple of hours, and you can tell it's kind of cheap and chintzy and whatnot. The snap is pretty positive, so that's kind of nice, and it's rigid enough to work as a storage case. Here's the multi-tool itself. It is aluminum on the outside and stainless steel on the inside. These kind of rivets on the edge here, I mean, you can tell these are just, you know, very, very budget. I mean, like, you know, there's some machine that just hammered those pins in and then squished them out so they're not going to fall out of there. So first we'll start with the main tool, which is the pliers, and I'll mention real quick the deployment here. The smoothness is pretty terrible, but maybe if you use it for, I don't know, a couple thousand times, you'll get about 2-3% better, something like that. We have the pliers coming down to, get this thing, try to focus. There we go. They come down to a pretty precise point, and they are spring-loaded. They have a little spring there. Don't know how long the spring-loaded feature will last, hard use-wise, but they are spring-loaded, and the teeth are precise at the very tip here where you need them to be, and then you can kind of see that there's some air in them down there. The bolt holding channel, that works good. Not too soft a metal. I used it to spin off a couple of bolts earlier. That worked out all right. The wire cutters, I would not cut much wire with them. I already bent them just a little bit, if you can see there. Right at the base, you have a little bit of bowing, and that was from cutting some really, you know, really thin, I don't know, really thin fencing wire, stuff like that. I mean, like, you know, real thin stuff. So if you have to do a little bit of minor wiring or whatever in an emergency, then okay. So that's pretty much construction. Let's go over the features. And trying to get these tools out, guys, is about like making a deal with the devil to sell your left butt cheek to get any of these out. You have, and this is the hardest tool to get out, of course. There is a dual feature tool, which is the bottle opener here and the can opener. The can opener is really small. My Leatherman Super Tool 300 has a can opener. It's about twice that size, but I tried it. It works. Haven't tried the bottle opener. And next up here we have the awl, which honestly is pretty much useless, in my opinion. There's no tip. You're not going to be punching any holes in leather, you know, making moccasins with this, because you're not that cool, and it wouldn't work that great. So that's, you know, that's pretty much it there. And it doesn't really work great as a scraping tool either, because that edge, if you want to call it that, is really steeply ground. So that doesn't really work great. Next we have a Phillips screwdriver, which is kind of odd. It's too big for the smaller Phillips, and it's a little bit too small for the bigger Phillips. So it's kind of somewhere in between. If you press hard enough into the, you know, Phillips screw, you can get most stuff out or drive most stuff with it, but not something I'd, you know, want for frequent use. And then here's the first tool that surprised the heck out of me, was the knife blade, actually, which came paper cut and sharp out of the box. There's pretty much no tip there, and it's made out of like butter knife steel. Doesn't even say anywhere on the package or anywhere online. So that'll probably lose its edge almost immediately, but came paper cutting sharp, and I was really impressed by that, because I didn't expect it with all the other reviewers and whatnot on YouTube saying that, you know, it came and they were able to just run it on their hand and not get cut, whatever. Sharp Maker brought that up to a hair popping edge, so it will get sharp if you take a little bit of time sharpening it. One thing I wanted to mention real quick is that all these tools, none of them lock, but they have that spring down there, which will kind of hold it out for you and give you some tension so it doesn't fold quite as easily as something that had no tension at all. Here's the next tool that surprised the heck out of me, and again, it's not super easy to get out, is the file. And this is awesome. I used it to file part of the head off of a nail, and there's no visible damage to it. I use this side with the cross striations, cross grain, whatnot. I believe the single strain or single striations are for wood, but that's just what I've heard, what my opinion is. I have two flat-headed screwdrivers here. The small one is not super precise, but it's okay for what it is. This medium-sized one works good as a flathead screwdriver, works good as a scraper. I wouldn't put too much I wouldn't use this smaller one for too much prying, but the bigger one is pretty thick, and even if you did break it off, even if you replace the whole tool, it's only $5, so no big deal there. And then we come to the last tool inside, and it is completely freaking useless. This rescue cutter serrated blade is totally a joke. There is no tip on this at all. There is no edge on it at all. You can run that on your hand all day long, and you're never going to get anywhere. So that's what that is. Pretty much a total fail. Not going to spend any more time on that. And overall here, the pliers work good. Not great. The knife works good. No idea how long it'll hold its edge for. Probably not super long. And I'm not going to waste time testing it. Overall with the entire multi-tool, for $5, it's a good backup or a throwaway, to throw in a bag or, throw in your glove box of your car just in case you have to spin a bolt off of something real quick or need a pair of pliers to bend some metal or cut something, light duty or whatever like that. And it's pretty user-friendly with the spring action. One thing I would like to note is that these handle scales here, whatever you want to call them, the slabs here, if you really bear down on it, they tend to kind of bite into your hand. So if you're holding for a extended period of time trying to loosen a bolt or whatever, you will have some, some lines on your hands or whatnot. It's not that big a deal, just something to be aware of if you're going to buy this thinking that you're going to use it every day, which I guess you technically could. But that's the Ozark Trail 12-in-1 $5 multi-tool, reviewed by Tactipants. My overall rating on this would be a 7 out of 10. That's what it's going to be for me because I have much more expensive multi-tools with much higher quality, but they also cost 10, 15, 20 times as much as this. And are you really getting 10, 20, times as good? I don't know. That's not necessarily up for me to decide in this specific video. So this is Tactipants. This is my review. If you guys want to like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do like that, you can. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.